I'm a site reliability engineer and I'm currently on call for various services. And you'll notice that I was just paged on my mobile device for an incident that was just triggered. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it open in VictorOps to see the details. So once in VictorOps, I'm immediately dropped into the incident itself. I can see the triggered time, as well as the various responders, which of course includes me, a link to the ServiceNow ticket, and the details of the incident itself sent from the source, in this case SignalFX. The first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is actually acknowledge it. So this is ceasing all the paging, and I can now begin to triage and understand what do I need to do to further resolve the incident. Additionally, once I've looked through the details, I can also access additional information, whether that's notes written in, links to other sources, or even graphs sent over from the tool itself. And then finally, I have similar incidents. So this is going to be anything related in past incidents that looks like it could help me resolve this current one. It looks like I'm probably not going to be able to just resolve this from the mobile device. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and pop over to the web UI. Within VictorOps, I can see from a war room view everything involved with responding to this specific incident. On the left, I have the related Slack channels and ServiceNow ticket. I can pull in additional responders and add a conference bridge as needed, whether it's your favorite choice tools, Zoom, WebEx, anything like that. I get the alert details once again, and then those annotations, as I mentioned before, including the graph. On the right, we have a timeline where I can chat with the team, understand the full life cycle of this incident, and make updates as needed. I can also actually see this incident in Slack. So you'll notice that my teammate Cordis here chimed in, and the acknowledged incident appears here as well. If I need to take any action to resolve, reroute, or snooze it from Slack itself, I can do that too. Let's say I want to pop open the ServiceNow ticket. You'll see that the ticket was automatically created, including updating the most common fields and relating the priority. And any of the comments and incident updates actually updates the work notes within ServiceNow as well. If I were to resolve the ticket in ServiceNow, that would communicate back to VictorOps too. Having a fully integrated system with all of your information in one place allows you to reduce your time to acknowledge and resolve critical incidents related to your system performance. Once I understand what's going on, I've communicated with the team, I've either chatted or jumped on a conference bridge. Once we know what the issue is and we've resolved it, we can go ahead and close out the incident here, and everything is now color-coded green, and you can see across the environment that everything is back up and running. Now, how do we actually get VictorOps set up? Typically, it starts with centralizing all of the alerts from any of your alerting sources. We do this by integrating with all of the most popular monitoring tools in the space today, as well as allowing for backups including a generic REST API or an email endpoint. You'll also notice some of our premier featured integrations, including the Splunk Enterprise, Splunk ITSI, and SignalFX. When you set up an integration, you'll see that we provide the API endpoint here as well as the key, and we provide the integration guide, so you can set it up on your own, whether it's on the Splunk side or on the VictorOps. You'll also notice this option for defining a routing key, so that way we allow you to connect where the alerts are coming from to the right teams and response plans. You may have heard this in other tools called services. Once you have everything in VictorOps, you can add your users. Each user comes into VictorOps and defines how they want to be contacted, so phone number and email, and then what are the various contact methods for when they're on call. You can think of this as push, text, phone call, or email, and any user can have any combination of the four as well as many backup steps as needed. Once the users are added to VictorOps, then we can segment them into their various teams. A user can span multiple teams and be associated with any subject matter area that they feel comfortable with. When you create a team, you then add the associated users and then have the ability to create a unique on-call schedule. This can be globally distributed, it could be defined for unique custom time periods, or just a simple 24/7 schedule. If you need to make changes, we have the option to schedule overrides for things like PTO and planned vacations. This would just be choosing the user and then the time period when they'll actually be out or unavailable to be on call. Another unique option to VictorOps is our one-touch take-on call. You'll notice here I can do this from the mobile app itself. If anything comes up randomly and you're no longer able to be on call, you can ask a teammate to take your on-call responsibilities for you. So if I go to the mobile, you'll notice I have this take on call option for Saul Goodman. I can actually take his on-call responsibility, and that will just swap us out for that short or for that shift period. Alternatively, I can do this from the web UI, and you can see I can take the on-call here as well. Lastly, with Teams, we allow you to define escalation policies. So those response plans that we discussed before, this is what actions we're taking to respond to any critical incident coming into VictorOps. You'll notice that we have our various routing keys pointed to this escalation policy, and then what actions we want to take. So typically the first step is immediate, and we're going to notify our on-duty users. But if these folks can't respond or just don't respond fast enough, after 15 minutes we're going to go ahead and go to our backup, which is our next on-call user. We also have other options for going to previous users who are on call. We can nest these policies as well. You can pick specific users, notify the entire team, build in automation steps, or send an email address. So no matter how you choose to respond to critical incidents, you can get a customized escalation policy to take the appropriate action. So to recap, to get VictorOps set up, all it required was pointing all of your integration and alert sources into VictorOps, adding your users, and then building your teams and its schedules and escalation policies. For reporting, we provide various options within VictorOps, including a post-incident review, or you may know it as a root cause analysis or postmortem, response metrics measuring your MTTA and MTTR, on-call review to make sure that you don't burn out your on-call engineers, and then incident frequency for assessing the sources of your incidents and any spikes. For now, we'll just talk about the post-incident review. If I create a new report, VictorOps takes a snapshot of the time period that you have set for the outage, and you can filter it down by various options here, including message types and routing keys. But then within the timeline itself, I can actually remove irrelevant information. So I can customize the report so it only contains the information and learnings that we need. If I add notes here, everything will be tracked on the right. We can also add action items and even a high-level executive summary. I can save this within VictorOps and attach this to incidents for futures to act as a runbook, and I can also export it as a PDF to share with any other stakeholders. Because we're wholly integrated with your tools, that you don't have to worry about searching down and collecting this information. We provide it all here so that you're not scribing and pulling and cutting and copying and pasting to generate these reports. We reduce that time for learning and continuous improvement. You can also send all of your VictorOps incident information to your favorite data analytics and dashboarding tool. Here you'll see a Splunk dashboard of the most commonly tracked and requested incident response metrics. You can including the downtime cost of live incidents and the unplanned work time. You can also see anything from its source, the monitoring tool, or incidents by time of day. You have full ability to customize this dashboard as needed. If you want to try VictorOps for yourself, you have an option to start a 14-day free trial from our website. All you need is a name, an email, and a company name, and you're dropped right in and ready to go.